He's 6'5", he's from Australia, and right now he might be the most talked about guy in Hollywood. And somehow, he's still single. So we found 10 actresses who could actually keep up with Jacob Elordi. And even if some of them are already in a relationship, maybe it's time for an upgrade. Also, stick around for number 2, because that's where we talk about the Billie Eilish rumors. Everyone has questions, and we have answers. Starting with number 10, Cailee Spaeny. Now, if you watched Priscilla, you felt it. The chemistry between Jacob and Cailee was completely real. It's like two singers who never rehearsed, but they still harmonized perfectly the second they opened their mouths. But here's what makes this more than a movie thing. Cailee grew up in Springfield, Missouri. Jacob grew up in Brisbane, Australia. His dad was a house painter. Neither of them had a famous family name opening doors for them. People always ask if Jacob is a nepo baby. He's not. He earned every single role himself. And Cailee did the exact same thing. That shared starting point matters more than people think. They both pick quiet, serious films over loud blockbusters. It's like two people at a restaurant who actually read the whole menu instead of just ordering the most popular thing. Both of them stay grounded, both of them work hard, and that is a foundation built to last. Number 9, Sophie Thatcher. Sophia stays under the radar, and honestly, that is exactly the point. You might know her from the Book of Boba Fett or the horror film Heretic. She always picks roles that are strange and layered. Sound familiar? That is basically Jacob's whole career right now. And in my honest opinion, these two feel like people who would meet at a small film screening. They would talk for 3 hours straight, no phones, no performing, just real conversation. Jacob has said openly that he doesn't enjoy social media fame. Sophia feels the same way. Think of them like two phones on silent in a room where everyone has their ringer on full blast. They're just quietly doing their thing. That kind of peace is rare, and in Hollywood, rare is everything. Number 8, Phoebe Dynevor. Now, Phoebe knows how to hold her own next to a tall, handsome co-star. She proved that in Bridgerton. At 5'3", she would stand almost a foot and a half shorter than Jacob. The internet would absolutely lose its mind over the height difference alone. But here is the deeper thing most people miss. Phoebe has talked openly about hating red carpet culture. She wants a life that feels private and real. Jacob has said the exact same thing. He finds the constant celebrity performance exhausting. I feel like these two would be the couple that skips the after party to go watch a movie at home. Now Phoebe is also moving into grittier, more serious roles. Jacob would absolutely love and respect that. Number 7, Thomasin McKenzie. Where you come from shapes who you are. That's just a fact. Thomasin is from New Zealand. Jacob is from Australia. They grew up on the same side of the planet. Being Australian or a Kiwi in Hollywood is a specific kind of experience. You always feel slightly like an outsider. You sound different, you think differently. Jacob talks about Australia in almost every interview. It clearly made him who he is. Thomasin carries that same grounded energy everywhere she goes. She didn't grow up in Los Angeles. She worked her way up through New Zealand theater first. Her career is like a tree with deep roots. It can grow tall because the base is strong. Her work in Leave No Trace and Last Night in Soho shows serious dramatic range. That matches exactly where Jacob is heading after Euphoria and Saltburn. These two are the kind of actors who disappear so fully into a role that you forget you're watching acting. That is the highest compliment in this business. Number 6, Daisy Edgar-Jones. Now Daisy refuses to stay in one box. She went from the emotional depth of Normal People to a mystery thriller and then a full action film in Twisters. That is a huge range, and it's impressive. But Jacob is doing the same thing. He went from The Kissing Booth to Euphoria to Saltburn to Priscilla. He just keeps surprising people. I think these two would be the couple nobody sees coming at the film festival. No big entrance, no entourage, just two talented people letting their work speak for itself. Daisy has said that she picks roles that genuinely scare her. And Jacob has said the same thing about his own choices. That shared mindset is like two climbers who always choose the harder trail. Not because they have to, just because that's who they are. Directors describe Jacob as warm and easy to work with on set. Daisy has earned that same reputation. Two good people with serious ambition is a rare combination. And we're just getting to the good part. Number 5. Florence Pugh. Ladies, Florence doesn't care what you think. And honestly, that's what makes her so magnetic. She is loud about her opinions, but her private life stays completely locked away. That might sound like a contradiction, but it's not. She just understands what part of herself belongs to the public. Jacob works the exact same way. He shows up fully in interviews, but his real world stays protected. Also, Florence would never let Jacob get lazy. She would push him to grow, and he'd push her right back. Think of it like a tennis match where both players are ranked number 1. Nobody can coast. Nobody gets to relax. That pressure makes both people better. They can both play dark, complicated characters, and somehow you still root for them. That's a rare skill. Most actors can only do one or the other. These two do both without even trying. Florence has also talked about loving the physical storytelling that comes with taller co-stars. And at 6'5", Jacob gives her a lot to work with. She would absolutely hold her own. But our number 4 pick would challenge him on a completely different level. Number 4. Mia Goth. Mia is the boldest actress working right now. She built an entire horror trilogy with Pearl, X, and Maxine. She carried every single frame of those films herself. Jacob went to dark places in Saltburn and Euphoria. But Mia doesn't just visit the dark. She lives there and she thrives. But here's what I find so fascinating about this pairing. They both have that old Hollywood feel, like they belong in a black and white film from 60 years ago. You could turn the sound off completely and still feel everything they're saying. People compare Jacob to a young Marlon Brando, and Mia has that same timeless, almost painterly quality on screen. And here's the detail most people don't know. Mia was partly raised in Australia. She was born in England, but Australia shaped her too. So the cultural connection is genuinely real. This is not just a pairing that looks good on paper. It's a wild card pick that actually makes sense the more you think about it. But the last 3 picks on this list feel less like choice and more like destiny. Number 3. Saoirse Ronan. Now, Saoirse had 4 Oscar nominations before she turned 30. Let that sink in for a second. She brings a quiet, steady strength to every role. You felt it in Brooklyn. That same emotional depth is what Jacob is chasing right now in films like Priscilla. These two have never shared a screen, but they are clearly drawn to the same kind of stories. Deep stories, human stories, the kind that stays with you after the credits roll. Saoirse grew up moving between Ireland and the United States. She always felt slightly outside the Hollywood system. Jacob knows that feeling too, and that experience creates a bond that's hard to manufacture. You either understand it or you don't. She has said in interviews that she wants a creative equal, someone who genuinely challenges her. Jacob went from a teen romance franchise to working with Sofia Coppola. That kind of growth is exactly what she would respect. A partnership between these two would be quiet and real. No big public moments, just 2 serious artists making each other sharper. That is the kind of relationship that actually lasts. Now we're down to 2 picks, and the next one is the reason most of you clicked on this video today. Number 2, Billie Eilish. Okay, let's talk about the Billie situation, because we have to. Photos from late 2023 and early 2024 set the internet on fire. Neither of them confirmed anything, neither of them denied anything. And honestly, that silence fits both of them perfectly. Billie is not a traditional actress, but she has a natural screen presence that most trained actors would envy. She's also moving towards more film work, so their worlds are getting closer. But what really connects these two is simpler than you think. They both got famous very young. They both grew up outside the Hollywood machine. Billie was homeschooled in a musical family, and Jacob was in Australia figuring it out on his own. They both know how isolated that spotlight can feel. People online love to joke about the height gap. She's 5'3" to his 6'5", but that's the least interesting thing about this pairing. The real connection is that neither of them wants fame to be a performance. Neither of them wants to be a brand. That mutual discomfort with celebrity culture is actually a really strong foundation. Also, this might be the one pick on the list that already happened in real life. But is she the perfect match? Well, we think there is still one person who edges her out. Number 1, Sophie Wilde. Now, Sophie is Australian, born and raised. Same country as Jacob, same kind of journey too. She built her career through local theater before Talk to Me made her a global name overnight. That film is an A24 hit. It means Sophie is already living inside the exact creative world Jacob is working so hard to reach. But here's why she's my personal number one. Neither of them used the famous last name to open doors. They both took the long road. They both earned it completely on their own. Sophie has the same quiet intensity off camera that Jacob carries everywhere. Same home country, same indie roots, same deep respect for the craft. Every single thing lines up. Now, which pick surprised you the most? Drop the name in the comments right now. And when you're done, click on that video that just popped up, and I will see all of you on the next video.